Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gridiron Reprobates podcast. Now, the Gridiron Reprobates podcast is aimed at a mature audience, so we may use adult language and discuss mature themes.
Dick!
There we go. So with that warning out of the way, let's talk some football. But before we talk any football, we need to introduce my fellow podcasters, and making his debut on the live stream, it's everybody's favourite Dutch Patriots fan. It's Baz Verbeek. How's it going, Baz?
Pretty well. Happened to finding me able to join, so took a while, but
we are very happy to have you back with us chatting NFL nonsense. I'll introduce the other reprobates. We've got Phil, whose second name I'm not going to pronounce. How's it going, Phil?
Hi, I'm good. How is everybody?
Yeah. No, can't complain. And finally, it's everyone's favourite Scottish Buccaneers fan. It's Ryan McLaughlin. How's it going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yes, can't complain. All the better for being on the eve of some proper NFL action. So this is happening hours before the Rams kick off against the Bills for the opening day game. So before we get into our season-long predictions, let's have a little chat about the first meaningful football that's been played in over 8 months. What do we reckon about tonight's game, gentlemen?
Rams hangover.
Rams hangover.
I think the Bills will go in there and beat them quite easily. I just can't see anything other than a Bills win. I'm not dissing the Rams, as we'll see soon, but I just think, Rams they tend to start a little bit slowly as well. I think Bills will be higher in.
The Bills start slowly as well. Is the only thing I would say. Although they don't have a Super Bowl hangover to get over.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked them in the Gents podcast. I picked the Rams because I just think that the Bills do start a little bit slow, and the Rams, they've got a group that's been together a while. And to be honest with you, I just want to see a fireworks show. That's what I want. Which is hopefully what it should be. It's just two quarterbacks and two offensive defenses going absolutely hell for leather at each other. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Start the season for the bang.
it's just weird that possibly the first game we've seen this season will be the game of the year, potentially. That's the billing we have. That's pretty damn nice.
It would be a unsurprising Super Bowl matchup as well. I mean, if you told me this was going to be the Super Bowl matchup, I'd be like, I'll buy that. Yeah.
I think it's going to be very interesting because you've got two strengths of the teams going up against each other. You've got the Rams passing attack, which was the strength of their team last year, going up against the Bills secondary, which is the strength of their defense. So that's very interesting. You've also got the Rams defensive strength in Aaron Donald going up against the Bills-ish offensive line. That's going to be interesting. It's got all sorts of fun little things happening in the game. So really looking forward to watching it tomorrow because I'm not staying up for it because I've got to work.
Yeah, no. See, if I was still striking tomorrow, then I would have stayed up. But because her ladyship died, we are not striking to save face, basically.
Very, very inconsiderate of Liz.
I know. She could have waited.
Yeah, one more day.
Just one.
Yeah. One more day would have been fine.
Anybody else got any thoughts on tonight's game before we dig into our season-long predictions?
I just hope the game is up to the billing that it is because because it's the first season of the year. Probably they're not really in their stride yet, so it could be a bit flat compared to if we would have had it in week 6 or 7.
Yeah,
and that would be a shame for this match.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, does anyone care if it's football? Actual football?
Yeah.
No, I do not. I don't want
got-
to watch the Canadian Football League.
I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game, but I think the Bills win. The Bills go in there and win the Super Bowl hangover. I think.
So Bills from Ryan. Phil's got the Rams. Who have you got, Baz?
It's the Rams at home, so I think take the Rams.
Yeah, I too. I'm plugging for the home team because it's the home team. So it's 3 against 1, Ryan. We'll see next week who picked that correctly. In fact, I'm gonna make a note of this in case we want to do some sort of long running predict the Thursday night game or some nonsense.
Okay.
That's good.
Right. So let's move on to our season long predictions. We'll start off by going through each division, picking who we think is going to win said division, and we will start in the AFC East. Who have we got to win the AFC East? And seeing as your team's in the AFC East, Baz, who have you got winning the AFC East?
Wait.
I don't think this is one of the easier ones. If anyone here doesn't have the Bills, I don't know what they're doing.
I think you're right.
I don't think any of the other teams are even close in terms of talent.
Can't believe you don't believe in Joe Flacco's New York Jets team, Baz. I'm shocked and or appalled.
Yeah. Looking Wilson probably week 4, but even then it's not.
Not much of
They
an
had
upgrade on Joe
a
Flacco.
beautiful season, but if they scrape by in the wild card round, I would be surprised even still with the Jets. So. And the Patriots have Matt Patricia calling the offense, so if we go over 500, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think the main opposition the Bills have got actually in their division might be the Dolphins.
Yeah.
That's going to be based entirely on how good Tua is.
Yeah, if we get the 2 that Tyreek Hill is seeing, then yeah, they're Super Bowl favorites. Otherwise, they're the
I'm not
so,
sure
yeah,
we can trust.
they could very well be, but
I'm not sure we can trust Tyreek Hill's judgment in that particular regard. What about you, Ryan? What do you think about the AFC East?
Yeah, Bills, easy.
Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting between the Patriots and the Dolphins. See who's looking a bit better. Like you said, I'd probably be on the side of the Dolphins, but in terms of division winner, Bills, easy.
Yes, something's going to have to go catastrophically wrong in the AFC East for the Bills not to win it. I think I don't think the Patriots or the Dolphins are bad teams, but the Bills are a class above.
they're mediocre.
That was easy.
Yeah, it's the Bills. I mean, they're the Super Bowl favourites. If we don't think they're going to win their division, what are we saying about ourselves?
We will move in an anti-clockwise direction and predict the AFC North. Let's start with Phil. Who have you got for the AFC North?
This might be a slightly different one because I think this one's going to be slightly tighter between 2 different teams. I went for the Ravens.
Me too. With the Ravens as well. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went Ravens.
3 for the Ravens. And I also went for the Ravens.
Wow.
I wasn't sure if someone was going to go back. I thought someone might do, but I wasn't sure whether they could do it, be as good as they were last year again when everybody's got a bit more tape on them. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. I still fully expect them to make the playoffs and be one of the best teams in the AFC. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know whether they can be as good as they were.
The thing that gives me pause with the Bengals is their defense was greater than the sum of its parts last season, and they haven't really changed the parts. So it's unlike defense is a lot more up and down than offense tends to be. So it's unlikely that defense is going to be greater than the sum of its parts again.
Yeah,
and I think the offense is going to be really good. Joe Burrow is a generational quarterback. They've got some awesome weapons at receiver, but I think their defense is going to let them down. Not because it's a terrible defense, just because it's not. They were really, really playing at a high level last year, and I don't think they can live up to the same standards because they've not brought any additional firepower into that defense, apart from the Daxton Hill that they drafted. But he's a rookie safety, and that's going to be a tough transition.
Yeah, the Bengals went on a magical run last year, and that's hard to replicate. And the Ravens are pretty damn good every year. Last year they had a ton of injuries, and they still were competitive in every game, and they lost like 5 or 6 nail biters.
Yeah.
If they're healthy, those games flip. They are a 12-win team, and they should be ready to roll. And with the Bengals, I still don't trust Zach Taylor as head coach. I still don't know what he is.
I tend to agree. Although I think Lou Amaruno is going to do a decent job with the Bengals defense. But I think there's going to be too much regression back to the mean from the overproduction they had last year. What do you think, Ryan?
Ravens for me. I really like their offense. Obviously, if they can stay healthy, I think Bateman is going to have a big season. Lamar Jackson might be competing for a massive contract elsewhere as well. So I think if he just keeps on doing what he's doing, I just can't see it. I like the Ravens this year. I think they're a really good team. Bengals, the one worry that they have improved on is their offensive line, but it's still not it's not an elite offensive line. They picked up Kappa for the right guard position, for example, but he was probably the weakest of the Buccaneers' offensive line last year. So where they've made improvements in that regard, it's still not a great offensive line, I would say. And as Baz said, it was a miracle run. They could have easily have not made that comeback against Chiefs, being so far down, and it would have been Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. I'd imagine if that game was to be played again, the Chiefs win.
Just as it's my forte, I'll just talk a little bit about the Bengals' offensive line. When I know it isn't an elite offensive line, but their offensive line was so bad last year that if you go from the worst offensive line to the middle of the road offensive line, that's a really big jump. And I think if Joe Burrow can have a split second more, it's going to make all the difference. The thing that worries me about the offensive line is it's kind of injury prone at their starting spots. Kappa has had a spotty injury past. Lyle Collins has had a spotty injury past, and Jonah Williams also has a spotty injury past. In fact, last season was the first season Jonah Williams played a full season. So their starters on the offensive line should be good enough to make the offense really sing, but they cannot sustain an injury because then they've just got the same guys they had last year who were turnstiles for them.
Yes.
Anything else to say about the AFC North?
I hope the Browns lose every single game.
Unfortunately, first team. Let's go.
All right, let's just move on. To the AFC, the greatest division in football, the AFC South. Who have we got winning the AFC South? Ryan, let's start with you this time.
I have the Titans, and I'd be surprised if anyone else had anything different, to be honest.
I think we're going to take 2 surprises here.
I went Colts.
Yeah, same. I have the Colts as well.
Colts?
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz is a huge upgrade.
Maybe
pretty much.
But to
win the division, I went for 2 reasons as to why. 1, the Colts are going to be better. And 2, I think the Titans might slide back a bit because I don't know how much longer they can keep running Derrick Henry into the ground. And they haven't got AJ Brown anymore.
No.
So they've taken a step backwards, whereas I think the Colts have taken quite a large step forwards. And I think in many respects, I think the Titans were lucky to be as they performed way above what their record, and being they were the number 1 seed in the AFC, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They were not the best team in the AFC by a stretch. And I think they might sink back a bit. I think the Colts are going to pick up a few extra games. I think that could make a difference.
Just on the Titans, I think Mike Vrabel is a sneaky good head coach.
I'm not saying
but I think that one thing where they're going to be really good is actually on defense. He's going to get that defense ready to play. I think Jeffrey Simmons is going to be a breakout candidate at defensive line. They've got some nice bits in the secondary. So the defense is going to. I think the defense is going to keep them honest or keep them in games at the very least.
Yeah.
I actually think I think it's quite close between the Colts and the Titans. The Colts, they've got a pretty terrifying defensive line as well, to be fair. So they're very similarly matched. They've got bruising running games, quarterbacks that want to take advantage of play action, massively talented defensive lines, and
The running backs.
actually,
There.
yeah.
Rely on the running back. So,
Two of the best running backs in the league. So
Yeah.
they're very evenly matched, and I think there's gonna be like one game between them, and so
Yeah.
I think it's whoever's gonna.
very, very much so, but I don't expect much from either team going forward.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're going to finish like 12-5 or something mad.
No.
I think they'll probably finish like 10-7, and the Titans will probably be about the same, and then it'll be like a head-to-head.
I'm also picking the Titans
Right.
because I cannot pick a Matt Ryan led team. I'm conflicted.
We've
as
probably
it is.
seen a lot of Matt Ryan over the years. And as much as he is a good quarterback, you have seen the regression in him, along with the Falcons, of course, but you have seen the regression with him where he can throw some really, really bad picks and put his team in some really, really bad positions. So where it's an improvement, I don't know. I like the Titans for it. I like the Titans quite easily, to be honest.
Cool. It's the first bit of non-group think we've had.
It
so
can't
that's
be
good.
worse than Wentz in a Jaguars game.
Nothing could be worse than Wentz in the Jaguars game. Phil's banking on nothing could be worse than that.
Yes. Nothing can be worse than that.
Right, so let's move on to the actual greatest division in football, the AFC West. Baz, you have the honours of picking the Division of Death.
I'm going Chargers. Yeah.
For saying that
It's-
like you might be wrong, it's just like
Yeah.
it's fine.
In this division, you could pick any of the four teams and you could make a good case for it.
Yep.
And that's
Well, except the Raiders.
even the Raiders.
They've got the Monkey
Yeah.
Adams.
Look, yeah, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfro, Darren Waller. That's a spicy offense. And I'm going with the Chargers. Especially their defense, the upgrades they made there. If you have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack bearing down on you, and they need to throw into coverage of Derwin James and Jason Jackson. That's gonna lead to a lot of turnovers, I think, and with Justin Herbert and slinging it around with, as long as they're not going to charge her, they should be very, very good.
I was going to say, they're still the
They
Chargers.
don't charge.
Yeah,
Chargers going to
they
charge you.
they need to get over that hump once, and let's make it this season.
Right then, Phil, who have you got winning the AFC West?
I was a little bit more boring. I went the Chiefs. I mean, it's really hard to pick against the Chiefs. We've lost Tyreek Hill, and what? You also got rid of Sorensen. There you go. Your defense is immediately better.
The Chiefs though have lost Honey Badger, which is a big blow to the secondary.
Yes. Yes, I can see that is a loss for them.
And they still for some reason are paying Frank Clark a wage to play defensive end. I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Maybe he's just a really nice guy.
But then again, the pickup of Sky Moore in the draft looks very good. So.
I think the Chiefs' offense is going to be scary good. Actually,
But you need to be in the division, and that's the thing. They're going to take games with each other so much. I don't think any of those teams is in the running for the first seed, and they might be the best team.
Yeah.
Yep. What about you, Ryan? Who have you got winning the West?
Yeah, I'm with Phil. Chiefs. I don't think Mahomes can have as bad, not as bad as the start as he had last year. He did start very slowly last year, but yeah, I just love that offense as well. In fact, you can score 40 on them and they might score 50 easily in the second
Yeah.
half. So yeah, Chiefs. I think.
Yeah,
Suns a bit
the reason I'm going to pick the Chiefs over the Chargers is the head coach. The old Walrus is way better than the who's the OC? Is it Joe Lombardi at the Chargers?
Chris Farrell.
I'm going to assume it is without looking it up. So Joe Lombardi.
Solid.
I really don't think Joe Lombardi has the creativity to get the best out of Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But last season, Justin Herbert ranked third on accuracy on passes that traveled over 20 yards, and the Chargers ranked 30th in plays that or pass attempts over 30 yards. So when you've got a quarterback who's really good at throwing the deep ball, but you don't throw it often, something's up. And it's not like they've not got the wide receivers to play that style. I mean, they've got no out and out speedsters, but none of them are slow. So that's why I'm going. That's why I'm going Chiefs over the Chargers. But I expect both of them to make the postseason.
Yeah, I feel like the Chiefs are basically a more exciting version of the Patriots. The Brady Patriots. So you take
I thought you meant the Mac Jones Patriots. Like, what?
No, clarify. You know that Patriots team that was really annoying and kept going to the Super Bowl every fucking year? That Patriots team. I feel like they're just a more offensively exciting version. They've got this they've got their quarterback, they've got their head coach, and they're just going to keep going back and back and back. And they're probably going to get to the AFC conference game every season, or they're going to get to the Super Bowl every season. They're going to do it year after year after year, and we're going to be sick of Patrick Mahomes. That's my prediction for them for the future.
Awesome. What about the Broncos? Does anyone consider the Broncos to have any shot at this division?
No.
Not of winning the division.
So they're going to be a lot better than they were last year, obviously, because they have an actual quarterback now. And he has an offensive line. So, I mean, but I can't see, because they're in that division, I can't see them winning it because they've got to play the Chiefs, they've got to play the Chargers. And much as we might say they're the worst team in their division, the Raiders are still a really good football team. They're just unlucky to be in the division they're in.
They'd walk the AFC South.
Yeah, they would.
I'm looking forward to seeing Wilson with an offensive line. I actually don't mind the Broncos this year. I think they might be closer to the Chargers than a lot of people might think. But a part of that is also me going, how many times do you see a quarterback like Russell Wilson go to a new team and find success straight away and just get on a roll with it?
I think you've seen it twice recently.
Yeah, so it's maybe recency bias. But actually, I don't think they'll win the division, but I think they'll toss up between them and the Chargers for me.
Yeah,
it also quite depends on what Wilson do we see. Do we see the Wilson we all expect, or the one we saw the last 1.5 years? Because he was decent, but not great in those years.
Yeah,
so.
he came back too early off the injury.
Yeah,
which really hampered him, and he was trying too hard to try and make stuff happen when it wasn't there because in many respects because he had to.
Yeah, he wasn't getting any help from the rest of his team. So.
There was nothing really going for the Seahawks last year, and he was desperately trying to make something happen. And I don't think he was listening to the coach either, because I don't. Obviously, we've seen now that him and Pete Carroll were not friends in the slightest.
That is very politely put, Phil.
Yeah, fucking hated each other. Right, Pete Carroll.
And somehow Pete Carroll is still there.
Of Russell Wilson trying to fucking do it by himself, and Russell Wilson was tired of the old fucker trying to tell him what to do.
I knew it. I knew it. Just prod him a little bit would get you how you really feel about it, Phil.
Yeah. So yeah, he wasn't going to be very good last year because it just wasn't the right situation anymore. And
Cool.
he'll be better, but as Bass says, we don't know whether he's going to be prime Russell Wilson.
Cool. And no one expects the Raiders to do anything. Great. Let's move on to the NFC. We'll start off on the NFC East. And Ryan, you're up for telling us who you've got winning the NFC East.
The Eagles.
Of course. Has anybody got the Cowboys anywhere near? No. Me
I
either.
apologise to Eagles fans because obviously this will curse them completely.
Sorry, Dan's not on the podcast. I think we haven't established any law about any curses yet on this particular podcast. I think we're all right at the moment.
Yeah, we're all okay.
Yeah, at the moment.
I
remains
picked
to
the
be seen.
Chargers. That's right.
Automatic curse. You mentioned the Chargers.
Well, I mean, I agree. I think the Eagles. I love that team so much. I love the way they've been put together. I think they're gonna be great. I think the Cowboys have got a lot of talent. They have one good coach, but it's not the head coach. And I think. Well, I'll maybe speak more about the head coach a little later in the show. And no one's got the Commanders or the Giants doing anything, right? No.
My favourite about the Commanders is their Week 1 game is against the Jags. So Carson Wentz can just go full like Vietnam flashback and do it again. That'd be great.
Cool. Right, should we move on to the NFC North?
I was just going to say, just before we move off past the Eagles, obviously we all assume the Eagles are going to win here because they've got a great team on paper. But obviously, that's on paper. We haven't fully seen them in a full season game.
No, and we need to see if Hurts is the guy now.
Yeah.
They give him in everything he needs.
Yeah.
If he can't do it with his team, then
I think even if he's not the guy, they're still good enough to win this division.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just whether they advance any further in the playoffs will depend on whether or not he's the guy. But I think they're still good enough to get into the playoffs and win this division,
We
whether
shall
he's
see when it comes
the
to
guy or not. Yeah. Cool. NFC North. Baz, who have you got winning the NFC North?
Shock Packers.
No. Yeah. What do you think, Phil? Any different?
I went Vikings because I didn't want to say Packers, basically. The Vikings have got good players. Kirk Cousins is solid. They've got a good running back in Kirk, and they've got two very good receivers in
Jefferson
and Jefferson. And the Packers don't have any good, standout receivers because they got rid of their standout receiver, and now they have nothing. Those were my basic.
Do you not have any faith in Joshua Dubs? Apparently. Dubs. No faith in that fourth round receiver. No.
Receivers I've seen perform in the NFL at a Pro Bowl level. I'll take those two over whatever the Packers have mishmashed together from whatever they found on scrap heap.
The Packers' defense is good.
Yeah. I don't care about defense. I want points, and I just didn't want to say Packers because I don't like Aaron Rodgers. He's a dick.
Oh. That's a whole different story.
This is not the dick rating podcast.
Definitely not.
That will get us kicked off YouTube straight away if we start doing that.
Yeah, you go on OnlyFans for that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're on the wrong platform.
Yeah.
Ryan,
that thing that the quarterbacks do. See somebody's eating train station and they've got like the bin at the corner of an end zone and they try to throw it in. I think if you put a Packers jersey on one of those, put it in one of the end zones, and Rodgers would still score touchdowns and win that division. They're the kings of the regular season, and then as soon as they go into any meaningful game, they choke again. And that's exactly what's going to happen this year as well.
I do want to see that happen over and over again for the rest of Aaron Rodgers' career. It does make me happy. We're going to make the Super Bowl. Choke.
It's not just his fault. It's not just his fault. They completely forgot to cover Scotty Miller, so it's their own fault, really.
Yeah, but they also lost to the Niners because he was unable to put up any points, basically.
I know. I'm just getting my particular team digs in while I can. Yeah, so I'm guessing you and I have both got the Packers winning this division then, Ryan.
Yep.
Just Phil who
Just
can't
me.
bear to pick
much,
Aaron Rodgers, to see the thing in front of his face.
Nope.
No, I'll pick that purple one over
I
there
refuse.
instead.
I'm going to look like a genius come the end of the season.
Or potentially. I forgot where we were in the rotation now.
That was
1, 2, 3. So we're back at Baz then, aren't we, for the NFC South? Who have you got winning the South?
Yeah, easy again. The Bucks. I mean, is there any other team that even comes close?
Go on then, Phil. And I'll tell you while you're...
Don't.
Why?
Because I think Brady's severely unhappy and he might not play very well.
That's always what happens. When Brady's unhappy, he always plays badly. He was pissed off and he's annoyed. He always plays really well, or badly even, really badly.
Just because, they're old. The Bucks are old. And it's just, I wanted to have some surprises.
If you think the Bucks are old, the Saints are just as old. Cameron Jordan, old as hell. Davenport, really old. D'Amico Ryan, no, he's a coordinator. Who's the linebacker?
Davis.
Davis. Yep. Demario Davis, old. Saints, old.
Yes.
Did the Honey Badger go to the Saints? Yeah.
Yep. Old.
Yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins. Is Malcolm Jenkins still there? He's old. Old. They're old.
Drew Brees still there? Old.
Old.
The stadium, old.
Old.
You know they're Bucks fans, Bass, and they're incredibly offended that some other team might win their division. I'm on the Jameis train.
As someone who's ridden the Jameis train for 5 years, don't do that.
Yeah.
It only ends in pain and misery.
I wake up in
You
sweats.
got one of the best seasons of all time. 30 and 30.
Just because it's a documentary doesn't mean it's a good season. I'm not going to be able to watch that.
The 30 for 30 for 30 for 30.
Yeah. Oh.
You got the Panthers winning this then, yeah, Ryan?
Yeah, no.
Build revenge.
Bucks. I think the Bucks could start. They could lose their first 3 games and still win this division. After our first 4 games, I wouldn't be surprised to see us go through and win every game from that point. I think we might win 1 or 2 of our first 4, but yeah, I think everyone's overblown how bad we might be just because there's been some reports of Brady unhappiness and stuff. He'll come out and be pissed off as usual and want to win regardless, and the rest of the division's pretty poor. So yeah, Bucks.
Yeah.
And we'll finally beat Saints in the regular season.
There is a big concern in the interior of our offensive line. It's not looking as promising as it was a month ago, so that is a concern. However, I'm really, really high on our defense this year. I think they're going to be absolutely stellar. And even if Brady doesn't play as well as, 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, and he comes down a little bit to 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, I think we're still good enough to trounce this division. So yeah, I also have my Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this division.
Yeah. Brady, although he does struggle sometimes with the interior pressure, he still gets the ball out so fast. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. Still got Wirfs, I think, the best right tackle in football. Donovan Smith has had a hell of a last 2 seasons. He's improved massively. Gadecki is a good rookie to have in there. Interesting to see what Mason does. And then Hainsey for a backup centre is a decent backup centre if you're not going to have a starting centre in there when Jensen's injured. So as far as that goes, I don't really have any worries, to be honest.
Cool.
And with the Saints, it's they have a new head coach, and that's to go after Sean Payton, who had so much success and is big of a person, but a great coach.
Yeah,
it's going to be very hard to replicate that success. So they have, on paper, except for QB, they have a very good team, but yeah, there's too much unknown there for me.
They are significantly not as good on their offensive line, having to get, was it Ramczyk they got rid of, or was it the other guy? One of them. One of the tackles. Yeah, it was the other tackle. And Trevor Penning, their second-round draft pick, has been put on either the PUP or IR recently, so that's not particularly good. They've got some decent receivers.
The slant boy, Michael Thomas, he's not played in
the slant boy, 2 years, yeah. The slant boy, I love it. And they've no longer got Gardner Johnson, who, although he's a complete penis, he's still a pretty good corner.
yeah, he's going to go and find some other teammates instead.
Yeah, I was looking forward to him and Trevor Penning having a bust up, but never mind. So, Phil, who have you got winning the NFC West?
To probably no real surprise here, I've got the Rams. Because I think they're probably the second or third best overall squad in the league. And whilst the Niners are a good team, they've got a rookie quarterback, basically a rookie quarterback. Whereas the Rams have Matthew Stafford, who is a perennially underrated quarterback, mostly because he was in Detroit for a lot of his career. And I just think they're too good for every other team in their division and probably most of the teams in that conference, to be honest with you. They're good. They've got Aaron Donald. They can do what they want. They could run him on any part of the field and he'll just bulldoze somebody.
Give him a couple of helmets.
I'll be honest, I think I'd swing helmets at people as well. I'm not sure how much I would keep my cool in games. Was I the season leader? Yes, I was the season leader for my basketball team in technical fouls, which is basically where you shout and scream at the ref. Cool. I led the club with 6.
Over how many games?
Like about 15.
Okay.
Although I did get 3 in one.
That's almost disappointing.
I know.
I got 3 in one game.
Okay.
2 got me ejected, and I got 1 as I was storming out of the hall.
Awesome.
What do you call referee a cunt? He doesn't take it very well.
I
think I'm going to take the Rams because I think they are probably the best team in that division by a decent margin. Not a huge margin. The Niners are not that far behind, but a decent margin.
Ryan, who have you got winning the NFC West?
I have got the Seahawks to finish last.
I do say that.
Despite my Rams slander earlier, it's purely because I played the Bills in the first kind of couple of games hangover. I do have the Rams to win it. I think they're too good for the majority of the NFC, and for me, there's too many questions over Trey Lance. See how he's going to suit. So I have to go with the Rams.
What about you, Baz? Who have you got winning the NFC West?
The Rams. I'm not a believer in Trey Lance.
Well, I am a believer in Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance. It might be a season too early for for Trey Lance, but I do think he's going to become a really good quarterback. He looked superb in the preseason, and his arm is going to give a new dimension to that Niners offense. It's going to make them pretty scary. Although Garoppolo is an accurate quarterback, he has no arm strength to speak of. So if they can actually get a vertical passing game going with that exotic run game that they've loved to deploy, I think that Niners offense could be scary. I think the defense is going to continue to be really good. I think they can challenge the Rams to this division. Because all of you guys picked the Rams, I'm going to pick the 49ers just to be different. Because I do actually
very proud.
Well, I think they're going to be actually annoyingly good. I think Simon's going to be insufferable for most of the season.
He's always insufferable.
Okay, well, even more insufferable for the rest of the season. D'Amico Ryans did a really good job with that defense last season. And I think, I like, again, I think we're in a very similar boat to the Colts and the Titans in that it's going to be down to the wire. There's going to be one, maybe two games in it. Although, unlike the Colts and the Titans, it's going to be, one team winning 12 games, the other one team winning 13 games. Whereas with the Colts and the Titans, like one team's won 8 and one team's won 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that, yeah. But yeah, like I say, it's not that I think Trey Lance is going to be bad as such, because he has looked really good. It's just because he's still fairly green. He's going to come out, he's going to make a few mistakes here and there, which while Stafford does occasionally make mistakes, he's not going to make as many. And I think that's going to be the difference between the two, because apart from that, the squads are actually fairly even.
And for me, especially with the 49ers, they need to stay healthy for once.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And that's something, I don't know what they do wrong, if it's in their conditioning or something, but they
Apparently,
only have so many.
Something to do with the Meadowlands turf.
The mistake is playing all their games at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Why do they keep playing their games there?
Because I'm not sure they play the Jets and the Giants every year. But
Last year, 2 games in a row was too much.
All right, so we've got all of our division winners. Let's talk about let's talk about the what am I saying? Wildcard teams, AFC wildcard teams. Who have we got? Baz. No, Ryan. Ryan was next in my rotation.
I have got the Bengals, the Chargers, and sneaking in, despite again Matt Ryan's land of the Colts sneak in. The rest of the AFC isn't very good, apart from the Broncos. But they'll get beat too much off of their own division to get a place in. So it was one of those ones where I do think the Broncos are better than the Colts, but they've just got such a good division it's going to be to their detriment, where the Colts might sneak in.
So that was Colts, Bengals, and Chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
Right, Baz, who have you got as AFC wildcards?
I have the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals.
Yeah.
And I do have the Broncos. I think it was between the Broncos and the Titans for me. And even though they will take more losses in the division, they're just a better team, I think, in the end. So, yeah, cool. I have the Broncos in the end.
Who have you got, Phil?
I went Chargers, Bengals, and Titans. Because I'm slightly upset that Denver stole my quarterback. And I'm petty like that.
Well, I'm going Chargers, Bengals, and see, I was going to say Broncos. No, I'll just stick with my original thought. I was tempted there by the Colts, but I think I'm going to stick with the Broncos.
Having 3 from the same division is going to be hard.
Absolutely. But with the
only reason, I think it was the only reason why I had the Colts sneaking in over the Broncos.
But I find it interesting that the 4 of us we're all only thinking of 8 teams in total.
Yeah.
For everyone was between the second AFC South team and the Broncos for the 7th place.
Yeah, we're
Other
basically
6,
or in the
8.
AFC. Because I mean, the Dolphins could sneak in there definitely, or the Patriots. If Mac Jones has another good season,
I'm more likely to pick the Patriots over the Finns. For me,
Yeah,
I'm not.
Um,
I'm not on the. I'm not on the Finns bandwagon.
and I doubt our offense so much this year, so I couldn't do the Patriots. Couldn't do it. I hope we do, but I don't.
yeah.
All right, let's talk about NFC wildcards. Starting with you, Baz. Who've you got?
Oh, I got 49ers,
Yep.
even though I'm not a Trey Lance believer. The Cowboys,
Woohoo.
and here's my biggest upset: the Lions.
Lions. Love it. Someone's been watching too much Hard Knocks.
No, I just if you look back at last year, they had a lot less talent. They have definitely improved. They lost half the games they lost last year were nail biters. I mean, 66-yard field goals and last minute turnover. If they just get a bit more luck, one more year of Dan Campbell just pumping up those guys, and they absolutely love playing for him. That was clear. Something magic could be brewing, and just tipped them over. And it's maybe part of wish, but I'm liking the line. So
That's okay. That's okay. I picked the Saints to win a division that had the Bucks in. I picked the Vikings on the ground that I hate Aaron Rodgers.
That's more understandable, quite frankly.
We're allowed to have wish fulfillment stuff. It's okay.
Who've you got with your wildcard teams, Phil?
So the Bucks, the Niners, and the Packers.
Makes sense. Ryan, who've you got?
The Niners, the Vikings. I found the last one so difficult to choose between. There was really 3 in play for me. The Cardinals, but then you've got the same issue with having the division, 3 in the same division. The Saints, purely because the NFC South is terrible outside of us that they're going to be playing. And the Cowboys, purely because I think they'll still win some games. They've got enough talent there to win games. I'd probably go Saints are lucky, so I'll go Saints to sneak in that place.
Yeah, so I've gone Rams, Vikings, and Saints, annoyingly. And that's mostly because I don't think anybody else comes close. Not because I like the Saints to do anything.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
We get.
So that's the playoff. What's that? I've done too much talking today. That's my problem. So we've picked on our playoff teams. Who do we have making the AFC Championship game, Ryan?
The AFC Championship game.
Yep.
I have got Bills and Chiefs.
Yes.
By far away the 2 best teams in my opinion. I think that matchup will finally happen in the championship game. So
Such a good game in the playoffs last year.
yeah.
Want more? Directly into my veins, please. Lads, who have you got in the championship game?
I've got the Bills versus the Ravens.
Ooh, I like it. Why have you got the Ravens over the Chiefs?
Just partly because I have them in the. How I worked it out. They played the Bills earlier, for me in the high my rankings. So
Fair enough. Phil, who have you got in this game?
Yeah, I was boring. I went Bills Chiefs.
Boring. It was such
I
a
know
good
the
game.
thing is the game won't be boring. It's a boring prediction to say the 2 best
Yeah.
teams in the division will be the 2 teams that are there.
Yeah, for me, I'm boring as well. I want to do a Baz and pick someone a bit friskier, but can't.
Yeah. I told you, the Chiefs are becoming that team that we just like, they're there again. Oh.
Yeah, it's very boring having a team that's always good.
Yeah. Dark, isn't it?
Until it
And
ends.
it's like,
We
no idea what's
all thought it was over. We all thought this was done. And then the Patriots got a rookie quarterback and somehow still fucking made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I thought it was done.
NFC Championship game bats. Who you got?
Eagles versus Bucks.
Like it. Like it a lot.
Yeah,
Who you got, Phil?
I've gone for Rams Eagles.
Ooh.
Or Eagles Rams, whichever way around you want to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Eagles Rams. I really like this Eagles squad.
Ryan, who have you got?
I have got Rams and Bucks.
Rams versus Bucks. I have got Bucks versus Packers. So I can.
That long before I choke?
Huh?
Long before I choke?
This is when they choke. This is when they choke.
He's going to see Scotty Miller and he's going to get PTSD again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not again. Cool. Right. Oh, we've done the championship game. That means who have we got in the Superb Owl? Phil, who's your Superb Owl?
So we have got a Bills Eagles Super Bowl. Just because I want to be interesting, and like I say, I like this Eagles squad. I like them. They're a bird team that's good, so I've got to kind of root for them.
Live vicariously.
Yeah,
And who have you got winning that?
the Bills.
The Bills.
I think that would be a bridge too far, even for this Eagles team.
Ryan, who have you got in the Superb Owl?
I have got the Bills and the Rams. I think the Rams because the Rams always seem to have our number for some reason. Sean McVay knows how to beat us. So I've got Bills Rams Super Bowl and Bills winning.
Bills winning. Az, who have you got?
I've got the Bills versus the Bucks. And I have the trauma continuing for the Bills and Tom Brady beating them again.
Awesome.
No, the Bills has had enough.
I mean,
beating them. Leave them alone.
It should be last year, so he's due again. So
Yeah, he took a year off of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's Tom Brady.
I've got exactly the same as Baz. Bills versus Bucks. The Bucks are winning because I love the Bucks. Who else am I going to pick?
Yeah.
Cool. That was awesome. Let's talk about individual awards to wrap up the show. We'll start off with the Coach of the Year. Ryan, who have you got?
I have got Sirianni.
Yes.
Because I think the Eagles just improved so much. I think they're going to have a really, really good season. So I think it's going to be Sirianni.
Baz, who have you got?
I've got Dan Campbell. I mean, he got the Lions into the playoffs. Do that, you deserve it, I think.
Yeah, well, if that happens, I think he's a shoe-in, to be honest, if he does get the Lions to the playoffs.
Banner. It's another banner for Detroit. That's what that is.
They need something. They need something in that stadium. Phil, who have you got as coach of the year?
I am like Ryan. I also went Sirianni. As you can tell from where I think the Eagles are going this year, I think they're gonna look really good, and I think it's gonna be really hard to pick someone that's not him.
Yep, I concur. I've also gone with Nick Sirianni.
Boring choices. Safe.
It is boring, but you know.
Yeah.
So, offensive rookie of the year. I think we're back round to Baz. So take us away, Baz. Who have you got? Offensive rookie of the year.
Olave.
Olave. Boo.
He just looks good, and
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm booing his jersey.
And he's going to put up numbers with James Stroud into him. So
Phil, who have you got for offensive rookie?
I went for George Pickens
George Pickens.
because I think he's going to look like a grown-ass man against some of these corners, and he's going to just body dump them all over the shop. It's going to be great fun.
Ryan, who have you got?
I was between those two, but then realised Pickens still doesn't really have a quarterback that can throw to him. So I went Olave.
Olave. Well, I mocked him earlier, but I'm going with Joshua Dobbs. Because,
Maybe he'll become Roger's guy.
well, Roger's got to throw it to somebody. Why not? Why not Josh Dobbs?
if he becomes the guy, he's a very good shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Rodgers. He's got to stare down one player. And
Yeah, he'll find his favorite, and it could be that guy. Defensive rookie of the year. Who have we got, Phil?
I went for Aiden Hutchinson.
Ooh.
He's looked good in preseason, and I think he could be really important for Detroit because their defense is probably one of their weaker areas. And if he can be the leader that he has shown in Hard Knocks, then yeah, I think he can make a big impact for him.
Excellent. Who have you got, Ryan?
I went the same.
Aiden.
Mainly just blue chip. There's always a defensive player that comes out of nowhere that you think, holy shit, he is so good. Who the hell is this guy? How did they get him in this round? But yeah, I went blue chip.
Fair enough. Baz, who you got?
is there any doubt? I'm the Lions guy here. Hutchinson.
I love it, Bass. You're staying consistent.
Yeah.
You've got to.
If they're going, he needs to be that guy. So yeah, then a defense step up. So yeah, definitely.
Every year in this category, I always pick a defensive tackle because I played some defensive tackle and I have a love for the defensive tackle. So I'm picking Jordan Davis of the Eagles.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see
Could
him.
happen.
Just, yeah,
Definitely.
He's a
so
monster. Yeah.
big. He is an absolute mountain.
All right, so we've done our rookies. Let's talk about. I didn't put comeback player of the year in this list. So think of a comeback player of the list. We'll come to it at the end. Defensive player of the year. Who we got? Where are we? Ryan.
Myles Garrett, mainly because Browns are going to need their defense to win the first 11 games. So I think step up, and he'll have all the stats to back that up again, that he is a really, 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 really scary good player.
He is. Just, again, don't give him any helmet to swing. Baz, who have you got of the defensive player of the year?
The other helmet swinger, Aaron Donald.
Yes.
Yeah. As long as Donald's on the field, he's going to get it.
Phil.
I went for Micah Parsons
Micah Parsons.
because if the Cowboys are going to have any chance of being good, they're going to need him to carry their defense. And if he does, which I could see him doing because he is excellent, yeah, I could see a lot of folks going his way.
Cool. I am going to go with Patrick Surtain.
Ooh.
I thought about him. I did think about Satan.
Because reports on him from Broncos camp is he is a bit of a stud and could have a breakout year.
He was already good last year, so.
Well, yeah. So let's hope he continues his trajectory. Cool. Offensive player of the year. Baz, who have you got?
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Like it.
Yeah, especially with Ryan, I think the passing game of the Colts looks a bit more scary. So there's going to be more room to run in for him. So
Cool. Phil, who have you got for offensive player of the year? Offensive player of the year.
To go with my ridiculous New Orleans Saints pick earlier, I've gone with Alvin Kamara. Because if they are going to win the division, it's going to be because he carried them there. along with Jameis Winston.
Ryan, who have you got Offensive Player of the Year? Oh,
The GOAT himself.
the GOAT.
Yeah. Another quality season for him. Yeah. Brady.
I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson because he is really good at football.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me that.
So not finally. Penultimately, MVP. Who have we got? Where are we in this? I think we're back to Baz, are we?
I've got Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yep, makes sense.
I think he takes another step and he's just gonna look absurd this year.
Phil, who have you got?
Josh Allen. as well.
Josh Allen. Okay,
Yep.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
Ryan, who have you got?
Brady. It was a
Tom
travesty.
Brady.
It was a travesty he didn't win it last year. He led every meaningful stat over Rodgers.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to disagree with you because it's a fucking joke that Rodgers won that.
Yeah.
Andy did it. Andy did it at age 44.
Yeah. So a deserved one this year.
Yeah, I'd have rather it was that scumbag instead of this scumbag. that won.
I've gone with Justin Herbert. He's pretty good at football too.
Nice. Yeah.
So I realise I sprung this on you guys midway through the show. However, we're still going to roll with it. Anyone, who have we got for Comeback Player of the Year, Phil?
Julio Jones.
Hmm.
I could be honest, I was struggling to think of somebody off the top of my head. I was like, well, he didn't play very well last year, and he's now playing with Tom Brady, so he'll probably play pretty well.
Yep.
That's like the
Definitely.
number 3 or number 4 receiver. He'll probably look pretty solid. Or he won't play
Right.
at all.
We'll get a good 6 weeks out of Julio Jones, and then he'll be injured again.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's towards the end of the season for your guys' sake. I think that'll not more.
Ryan, who have we got as Comeback Player of the Year?
Without much kind of thought into it, Mariota, like him back starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Falcons will do well in terms of winning record or getting in their playoffs, but I think I'm a Mariota fan. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just watching him a wee bit, and yeah, he could put together a nice wee season for himself,
I think he can make the Falcons watchable.
which is I'm doing. Give him the award now.
Baz, who have you got for Comeback Player of the Year?
Brady.
Huh?
Brady hit.
Oh, Comeback from retirement. So it's like, what's he come back from?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all.
retired, yeah.
James Winston.
Jameis Winston. Don't like it. Do not like it.
I think he's just going to put up so much more numbers than a Mariota, I think.
Yeah.
Both positively and negatively, but
Yeah, the interception column.
Well, I'm keeping us in the NFC South as all of our comeback players have come from the NFC South so far. I'm going to say Chris Godwin is the Comeback Player of the Year.
Had a
Yep.
good season. Last year.
He did.
If only he'd kept healthy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all of our sensible or more serious questions. So now these are a free for all. So feel free to chime in at any point. Got 5 silly questions or sillier questions to finish out the podcast. Who is going to be the first head coach to be fired?
Ooh.
I wonder who Phil has.
I really, really want it to be Pete Carroll. I know it won't be, and I know if he does get moved, he won't be fired. He'll be moved to a different position in the organisation.
Same position.
But that won't be till the end of the season, so it won't be him.
You're doing it like he's going to die. And ascend.
He's old enough that this is a realistic idea. Okay?
I mean, Queen Lucia is dead. He's now the oldest person alive, I believe. So
That's right.
serious answer.
He's definitely the oldest coach in the league, though, right? Because he's
Oh,
70,
yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
I think Mike McCarthy. I would not be surprised to see Cliff Kingsbury. To be honest.
Yeah, I think those two are the more realistic ones.
Yeah.
Even though Cliff Kingsbury just got a 5-year contract extension.
Yep.
Yes, love a bit of dysfunction.
Why wouldn't that happen?
It is difficult for them, and
They'll find an email or something that means they don't have to pay him.
and they're gonna collapse after 8 weeks again,
Yes.
most likely.
No.
But yeah, for me, the number one is Matt Rule.
Yes,
Not really. Yeah.
same for me. Dead man walking.
The way I think about those sackings, though, is if they were going to do it and they do it early, you always leave yourself thinking, why didn't they just do it before the season? What could he have done for them to change their minds? Which is why I think someone like Mike McCarthy might make a bit.
Yeah, if the Cowboys start really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because Matt Rule, he's even if he makes it to the end of the year, he's still gone.
Yeah.
Unless something extraordinary happens and Mayfield becomes the MVP or something. So
Revenge. I want it.
Cool. This question might be rhetorical. How many players will show body parts on internet sports talk shows this season?
Now, when you say body parts,
Toes
you
mostly.
mean things
Toes.
that you shouldn't see.
I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's going to get their wang out or anything like that.
Well, I've got to ask because technically the arm is a body part. Or do you mean he's just going to go shirtless and start waving it around and launching?
I was mocking the Packers quarterback who decided to show everybody his turf toe on the Pat McAfee show last season.
I would
So
be
that's
surprised
one.
to see Brady
Well,
come
that's
out
one.
like
Yeah, he'll
a
definitely
belly
do it.
warmer or something. TB12 belly warmer. So, yeah, there's one at least. Enhanced performance.
Okay. I don't know what to do with that
I'd probably
information.
see someone like, I don't know, one of the kickers gets a tattoo on his arse cheek or something and shows it.
What's the Bengals kicker? Probably him.
Yes, fearless. Yeah,
Awesome.
he'll do it. I could fully see him doing it. Just like I guess we're going to the Super Bowl then. just across his arse cheeks.
I love halftime shows.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Which player drafted in the first round this year will be the most disappointing?
I had Kenny Pickett.
Oh.
I don't know.
If you're not
I don't know, it would be disappointing for me because I wasn't expecting that much.
True, perhaps. But
Tiny little
if you're a
cat.
first-round draft pick and you can't beat out Mitch Trubisky, you're disappointed.
True. Yeah. Let me bring up. We got drafted in the first round.
Well, for me, it's going to be Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, to be fair, I think he was definitely one of the ones I was thinking of. Just because, I mean, he's the number one overall pick, and I'm just not convinced that he's the best. He's not even like that. I don't think he was the best player at that position in the draft.
Exactly. He's not going to. He's not going to, and I don't think he's going to be a bad player, but he's just not going to live up to the hype of a number one overall draft.
Yeah,
pick.
he's not going to be a number one, is he?
Yeah.
I always fear when they pick potential over production.
Mm.
So, I mean, most of the
Especially
times
that.
it just doesn't work out. I mean, the only one in recent years who I feel that was picked for potential and that worked out is Josh Allen, but he is unicorn. in this
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah.
Anybody got any more, or shall I move on to another question?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go with Trayvon Walker, actually. So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Cool. Next question then. When does Tom Brady's divorce go through?
Judging by his face, in about 2 months.
Hopefully, March.
Okay. I don't know if you want that pent up for the entire season. I mean, being
Yes, I
through
I want to be angry, pissed off.
January.
The thing is, you stop being angry, you just start being tired.
It's going to be February 11th. Day before the Super Bowl.
Oh no! I'm saying it so bad.
He's going to be so pissed. The Bills don't like what's going to happen to him.
Just going to fully rage through that.
And then, final question of the podcast: which under the radar team is going to turn around and have a winning season?
Lions.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to back for Bass here. I'm on the Lions trade now because of Bass.
Baz has convinced you onto the Lions train. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seahawks.
No. Be silly. Panthers. Baker Mayfield is going to drag them kicking and screaming to a 9.
I'm there for that. I'm going to laugh if Baker just tears it up this year.
He's so angry about what the Browns did that he is going to give the rest of us karmic justice and be amazing. That's what I want.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, what I'm thinking is they'll lose they'll win the first game against the Browns, then lose a bunch. Matt Rule will get fired, and then they'll get a new coach, and they'll start winning. And yeah, that's what I think.
I do need Jesus to come in and be their new coach.
Yes, yes,
Or
they will.
Sean.
That's fine.
Jacksonville Jaguars for me.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Just based on the strength of their quarterback. No, and Doug Peterson's actually a grown up.
And they got.
I'm very interested in Travis Etienne.
I was going to say they got Etienne back this year, haven't they? Because he was out all.
Yeah, he didn't play. So
Yeah, I think the Jags are going to definitely be much improved. I don't know about winning record, but I think they're definitely be much improved. I've got them beating Commanders in the first game.
I think next year we're talking about them being a wild card team, probably.
Yeah, I think that sounds about the right kind of trajectory. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that is everything I had to ask you, fine gentlemen. Do you have anything else you'd like to chinwag about that happens to pertain to NFL football?
Just one from me is a stat I seen today that if the Rams get beat tonight, it's the first time under McVay they'll be below 500. Never been below 500, so if they get beat tonight, which is
He's also undefeated in the first game of the season as the Rams head coach.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Anybody? Anything else before we sign off and prepare to watch the Rams Bills game in the morning?
Just happy we can watch it again. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God the season's finally here.
Happy it's back. Fuck around.
And the Saints.
And the Saints. And the Panthers. And the Falcons.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Fuck the Niners.
Thank you very much for joining me, folks. We shall reconvene again next week where we get to completely and utterly overreact to a week of NFL football. And I, for one, cannot wait.
Yes.
So thank you. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Keep waving. We're still live.